Hello everyone, I'm Trang, I'm Learning Experience Designer. Welcome all of you to today's event. Now I want you to imagine a day when you were very tired, very bored, and you just want to lie in bed doing nothing. But someone say, it's time to work out, okay? Because working out is healthy. Working out can help you a lot. How do you feel? When you were so tired and someone to force you to work out, just please, I'm busy being lazy, okay? So that links to the second part of today's event. And the next topic is autonomy. Being able to make decisions, being in control of our lives is very, very important to everyone. However, in education, many times people are forced to study. They're forced to learn. So that's why many students become tired, unmotivated, because they don't have autonomy in learning. So the question is, how can we create autonomy in learning? And how can digital tools help it? If you are given a dish of cookies and a dish of fruits, very yummy fruits, which one you will choose? There are people who like cookies and there are people who like fruits. So in order to create autonomy in learning, we should provide learners with a set of choices that are own good choices. So whichever choice they choose is fine. Let me give you an example of the real life situation in learning. And that is in the games and play class that I learned with Professor Javier Ochoa at New York University. So in that class, we have the right to choose whether we want to go with the game designer track, game food teacher, or game researcher track. There are different learning paths with choices for students to pick. For each track, there will be a couple of assignments, and you have the right to choose whatever assignments that excite you, the assignments that engage you. So you basically don't have to do all the assignments, just choose whatever engage you. As long as you can reach about 200,000 points or 250,000 points, then you will get an A or A+. The question is, how can digital platforms help create learning paths that way? I know that this is really hard. And even for me, before I joined the class, I don't think that it's possible because it's really, really hard. So my teacher at that time used a learning management system called GradeCraft. The amazing thing about GradeCraft is that the students play an active role in designing on their learning experience. So there will be a lot of assignments listed here with different learning tracks, and the students can select what assignments that they want to do. And when they select that part, then the system will track the students' progress to see like how many points that they have gained and how many points that they haven't gained. And that way, the students can be in control of their learning journey. So for example, in my case, the total points that I earned is 270,000 points, and I still have like 1,882 points to earn. And by that way, I can keep track of my learning journey. And also, if you look at this, you can see that in total, I already reached the rank of an A+. So that's why I don't need to do anything else. But like, it also showed me like the points to the next level is 0. So if your students want to gain more points, then they can continue to do more to gain more points to kind of reach the next level. But that is how we create like, we put the students in control of their learning and give them autonomy. And that is how GradeCraft create autonomy in learning. Okay, but it seems like a lot of work, right? It seems like even like to design different learning tracks with so many assignments for students to do and to choose on what they want to do, it's still like a lot of work. And not many people have that luxury of time to design a wonderful course that way. So what do you think? What other methods that can support autonomy in learning?
Here are some of my suggestions, and these methods you know about already. So in addition to kind of create different learning paths for students to choose, we can foster autonomy in utilizing methods such as game-based learning, problem-based learning, case-based learning, project-based learning. So as long as the students feel like they can have a voice in choosing what they want to do, then we foster the kind of autonomy in class. And because today we don't have a lot of time, so I want to focus on one method, and it's called project-based learning. And I think that a lot of people here in this room are familiar with this method already. So I'm going to focus on like how to do that digitally, so that you will know how to conduct this type of methods on digital platforms and to motivate the students as well. Because this is an amazing method to foster autonomy in learning. So imagine like the students have different groups of students interested in different things, right? And project-based learning is the way for them to dig deeper into their interests and learn the subject at the same time. And that really creates a lot of autonomy in class. So let me give an example of the project that we did at Domino Education. So Domino was the company that I founded in the past. I founded and ran in the past. So Domino TV was like the project for students to be their news reporter so that they can practice English at the same time. Okay.
Link, and this is the very first episode of Domino TV to welcome the new year 2015. And I'm so excited to be here. In this episode, we are going to have 3 main sections: Domino News, Domino Love, and Domino Challenge. To begin the program, let's listen to some interesting news from our awesome Domino reporters.
Okay, so just like a quick review of what it's like for this kind of project. So students can choose the news they want to report, and through that process of like designing the content and also like practice pronunciation, practice public speaking, practice English, they learn a lot from this project as well. The most important part is that they are the one who get to pick the news that they want to report. So they are the one who decide the content. They can like have autonomy in learning. So how can digital platforms support project-based learning? So on digital platforms, there are numerous tools. So there are tools for teams to collaborate for projects. Some very simple tools like Google Docs, Google Slides, or like even Padlet that we tried at the beginning of the session today. Or Zoom mentioned about collaborative drawing on Zoom. So there are many ways for teams to collaborate for projects. Another thing is try to utilize the tools for students to create and share media. And this is especially true for students from secondary school student to high school student and even university student. They really enjoy creating media. And if we can tap into that interest, then it can help them a lot with the motivation. And there are a lot of tools for you to do that. For example, very simple one like YouTube. It's a very great platform for students to create and share media. And depending on your subjects, for example, if you teach coding, then Scratch is a wonderful platform for students to create and share media on that platform. So depending on your subjects. And also digital platforms provide tools for teachers to provide just-in-time support. And I'm going to give you an example of like what it's like to provide just-in-time support in the next part. But basically, these are the main tools that you need for project-based learning to happen on digital platforms. Okay, so now it's the activity for you all. So think about what you will do to increase students' autonomy in your class. And as I mentioned, that project-based learning is just one method. Another one is like designing different learning paths with different learning tracks, like using GradeCraft as a learning management system. If you don't have like GradeCraft, if you cannot use GradeCraft, then I think that like Google Spreadsheet is another way that you can use as well to design different tracks for students to go, as long as they are the one who can make the decision. Other methods is like game-based learning or problem-based learning, case-based learning. So think about your own students and think about what you will do to increase students' autonomy in your class, okay? And whenever you are ready, please share your experience in the chat box. Okay, we said that I'm thinking about projects for students conduct short movies or videos to practice speaking and pronunciation. However, I haven't thought out this tool yet. Okay, that's brilliant. That was actually what we did at Domino Education in the past, when the students conduct short movies and videos to kind of practice their pronunciation. So that is a very, very interesting and creative way to foster motivation. Zung said that I divide them in groups, and each group in charge of one session. They need to do warm-up game before class and also write recap after class. I will check with them. Yeah, sure. That is very, very great way for students to learn deeply about the subject if they have a chance to teach about it. And actually, in the class that I mentioned, the games and play in education, for the students who choose the track to be gameful teachers, they have to teach the class. We actually utilize that method. Of course, that there will be different checkpoints for the professor to involve to make sure that we will not be struggling, or we will not go too far from their learning objective, something like that. Eddie said that for me, I use social media because most of my students have their own social media accounts, like TikTok, and they love to take videos. Great. I asked them to take video like Blogger and do a house tour. It's very successful because they are confident to speak, and most of them participated. Okay, that's very cool idea, and I think that addressed Zoom's question in the previous part about how to invite students to speak more, and using video platform like this, then they can have some time to prepare, and they will be ready to share as well. All right, so we talked about relatedness, autonomy, and now let's talk about competence.